Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. The Philadelphia Eagles bring back Darren Sproles for one more year. The 36-year-old. The 36-year-old who is a veteran leader, who was very well respected, who was a difference maker when he came back from last year's injury. Now, I will say this. He's obviously at a point in his career where injuries are a factor. But I think there's still value in bringing him back. Now, there are questions that I ask when I see him returning to the Eagles. I look at the running back core and I say, well, what does this mean? Is Miles Sanders okay? He hasn't really been able to do much with this lingering injury. Is he more hurt than we think he is? You could even ask that question for Corey Clement. What is Corey Clement? What's his role? Is he going to get back to the 2017 Corey Clement? Where he was insane? Unreal? Lethal? These are just questions I'm asking. When I think about Darren Sproles' role, obviously he's not going to be this workhorse go-to guy. I think it's pretty clear that this organization wants to rock and roll, obviously with the running back by committee, but Jordan Howard as the 1. I thought Miles Sanders would be in that 2 spot, and Corey Clement / Darren Sproles in that 3rd spot. That's how I see it when I think about his role. So it's not a monstrous role, but he can be a punt returner. He can be a mix between Corey Clement and Darren Sproles in that 3rd spot. He obviously can catch the ball out of the backfield very well. He obviously can pass block when you're talking 3rd down. So I think there is a bunch of value with him, but you can't expect the extreme. But if you put him in the right situations, if you use him the right way, if you limit when you use him, but use him in the right moments, in explosive moments, in pass blocking moments, he can add something to your roster. Now, the punt returning is interesting. We all talk about Deshaun Jackson being the guy, but this is a perfect fit for him. You wouldn't have to worry about Deshaun Jackson having to play that role. Or maybe he does at times. Who knows how Doug Peterson elects to go this, to use this method. But what I think is possible is Darren Sproles is limited in the offensive production, but he also helps the culture in the locker room. This team is in a interesting spot. They're favorites, right? Everyone knows they're deep. They talk about how scary the offense can be. But you also have young guys like Miles Sanders who doesn't really understand what it's like to be a professional. You have players going through the first steps in their career, if you will. Because I can even say someone like Nelson Aguilar, right? He's obviously been around, but he's still young in this game. And I know he's been around Darren Sproles in the locker room, but I'm just naming some players that are still very, very young. Dallas Goedert. A veteran player like Darren Sproles, who has been through a lot in this league, can help build this culture. And not so much build this culture, because it already is what it is, and it's fantastic, but help keep it to where it is. Because you lose guys that have powerful effects in the locker room throughout the last couple seasons. Players like Brent Selleck, right? That can't go unnoticed. Are you kidding me? A leader like that? That's important. So as much as everyone's talking about, well, what role is he going to play at? What role is he going to be? That's important, but so is internally. So he's 36 years old, right? The only thing that scares me is, retirement might have been a question for him. He's going through some tough times in his career. When you look at the last 2 years, 9 games. He had broken arm, and he ended up tearing the ACL. Then he had the lingering leg injury. So, when you get to that age and you question retirement, in this type of game, in this league in the NFL, it's either you're in or you're not. If you're 90% in, 95% in, that scares me. Now, I'm not saying Darren Sproles is that type of guy. I believe, personally, that he wouldn't come back if he wasn't 100% locked in, ready to rock and roll, if he wasn't focused to an extreme. But I'm just saying, it is a question that is possible. 90-95% invested. Well, at that age, in this type of tough environment and this brutal sport, that 5-10% can be a difference maker. Once again, I don't believe that's where Darren Sproles is, but that is a possibility because when you talk to athletes that think about retirement, and once that question gets raised in their mind, that's the start of it. And obviously, where Darren Sproles is in his career, it was a thought. It was a thought. But once again, I am happy we brought him back. I wonder how many running backs we keep. Are we keeping 5 running backs now? I mean, Jordan Howard, Corey Clement, Miles Sanders, Darren Sproles. Well, we have Wendell Smallwood, who seems to be someone that this organization clearly has value, thinks that has value. And there's Josh Adams in the mix as well. Well, I also heard that maybe we keep Darren Sproles as a wide receiver, as the 6th wide receiver, so then you can keep more running backs. But I don't know if that's how the Eagles are really going to approach this. You need to realize with this signing, you're not talking about a man who's going to completely change this offense. But there's little things that he does that can help put this team over the edge. I think the pass blocking is an extreme difference maker. And who thinks about that when you're signing Darren Sproles? That's not something that instantly comes to mind. But those are the type of little things that a true professional can execute. The plays out of the backfield, catching the ball out of the backfield. That's going to be fantastic. I don't know how many runs he's going to get where he's going up the middle, where he's bouncing a little bit to the outside. I think it's going to be very limited with the type of run plays that he gets. But it can give you a different look. If on 3rd down, Corey Clement's in there, and then the next series or the next drive, or hell, even the next 3rd down 3 plays later, you end up having Darren Sproles, which is a different look. Now as a defense, you're questioning. All right, well, we know what Corey Clement did last drive. Well, what happens now? Or last series? What happens now? Well, now Darren Sproles is on the left side. What's going to happen? Oh, it's a play action. Oh, he's picking up a block. Or, oh, that's a wheel route. This is intriguing. I trust Doug Peterson. I don't know if I trust Mike Groh because I wasn't the biggest fan of him last year with this offense, but I trust Doug Peterson to the point where he can come up with a game plan for Darren Sproles that's going to be good for him. He's going to have the punt returning role, I would assume. And he's going to add some value in other aspects. And realistically, it gives Carson Wentz another player who is trusted. All offseason long, it's been about how we can help Carson Wentz. How Carson Wentz can have a deep offense. How Carson Wentz can have arguably the best offense he will ever have in his career. Well, now you just added another veteran in the mix who's 6th in NFL history in all-purpose yards. All right? The problem is, can he stay healthy? And the problem is, are you going to waste a roster spot on someone who can't stay healthy? Well, obviously, if they're bringing him back at this point, he's going to crack the roster. I wouldn't assume they're going to cut him. But the injuries have been a problem over his career, the recent career. But he is Philadelphia. He has that mentality, and he is that type of leader. And I'm a fan of him coming back. I just don't know what that means in regards to where Miles Sanders is or what they think of Corey Clement. Now, I think that they were bringing him back regardless. I don't think Miles Sanders' injury is why they signed him. Or I don't think, them not trusting Corey Clement is why they signed him. I think they planned on bringing him back regardless. It's just now making me ask questions like, okay, where are the other two? What do they think about him? Or what do they think about Corey Clement and Miles Sanders' injury? Let me know what you think down below. It would be hard to think that people are unhappy with this move. I know that there's not that much left in the tank, but there's enough left in the tank. Enough to intrigue us. Enough to have a set role on this football squad. Training camp is coming, and that's fun. That's fun to think about. I'm super pumped for it. Let me know your thoughts. See you guys next time.